part because I'm a little confused.
So this is where the witches are first introduced. They start to tell Macbeth and Banquo that one of them will be king, and then Macbeth sort of demands more information out of them.
In this scene, Banquo is a less aggressive character than Macbeth due to his cautiousness. He is suspicious of the witch's motives. As a result, he doesn't demand to know their prophecy, even though he himself wants to know.
Then the witches tell Macbeth and Banquo that one of them will be king and that their children will be kings, and they sort of express a little bit of disbelief of that.
Okay, well, I think in this part, Banquo is kind of just showing how he is very cautious and he doesn't really trust the witches in what they're doing, whereas Macbeth is more like, I'm so excited that half of the prophecies come true already and I'm just waiting for the other half because then I'll be king and everything will be great. But Banquo sees that something dark is coming in the future because witches don't have that connotation of being good. So if they're saying positive things now about the future, that means that there has to be something bad coming to balance the good.
Afterwards, Macbeth sort of gets a couple ideas in his head that he might actually want to go through with a sort of plan to get his position in the throne, while Banquo's sort of just, sticking to the idea that it can't be true because they are witches and that they're evil and stuff. So,
well, the pride that came with his earning of a new title causes him to become more ambitious and hopes the rest of the prophecy will come true. This is where he first contemplates the thought of murdering the king.
Well, Banquo kind of dismisses the witch's prophecies, and Macbeth keeps thinking about it and thinking about what he will do to end up being king. And already the thought is eating him alive, so his ambition's going to keep growing and growing. But his mind used to be a little flower field, but the witches planted that weedy thought into him, so he's going to end up being destroyed.
He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strongbold against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murder shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Beside, this Duncan had borne his faculties so meek, had been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels.
How now? What news? He is almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
No, you not. He has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honoured me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in the newest class, not cast aside so soon.
Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valour as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would like the poor cat in the adage? I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it were smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
So, with Macbeth aside with Lady Macbeth, he tries to explain to her that he doesn't think that he should go through with it because he knows that their ambition will drive them to their own destruction. But at the same time, Lady Macbeth is explaining to him that he made a commitment to do it, and she gave this gruesome example of killing her own child if she had made a commitment to it, which sort of, adds more to this conflict in his head.
Alack, I am afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. The attempt, not the deed, confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Oh, okay. Let's see. This passage shows her vulnerable side, even though she pushes Macbeth to murder Duncan, and even though she has such a strong sense of ambition, she still sees Duncan as an authority figure and feels she must be loyal
My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
I,
Hark who lies in the second chamber.
Donald Lane.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one that slapped in to sleep and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers, and addressed them here again to sleep.
There were two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and the other, Amen, the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening to their fear, I could not say Amen, when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I pronounce Amen? I had most need of blessing, and Amen got stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep, sleep that knits up raveled sleep of care. The death of each day's life, sore labors brought back. Balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still cried, sleep no more. To all house, Glamis had murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall not sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that cried thus? Why, worthy thing, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain sickly of things. Go, get some water, and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them, and smear the grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Okay. It's not long before Macbeth starts feeling guilty for what he's done, and he gets very sensitive of his surroundings, and he begins to hear voices that aren't really there. Because of his remorse, Lady Macbeth starts to scold him for this, and she decides to finish the job herself, this showing her zealousness as she quickly makes sure that no one blames them for the crime.
It will rain tonight.
It will come down. Oh, treachery! Fly, villains, fly!
Now we have a clip of Act 3, Scene 4, which is the banquet scene, and also the scene where Macbeth's guilt starts to really show. So Macbeth gets offered a seat at the dinner table, however he sees the ghost of Banquo in his spot, and that causes him to freak out a bit, which causes other people, like Ross, to become worried, but Lady Macbeth reassures them, and goes to take Macbeth and calm him down. So Macbeth's ambition falters throughout the scene after having ordered the successful murder of his closest friend Banquo, and he keeps asking the murderers if Banquo is really dead because he doesn't really believe it happened. But after he accepts the reality, he realizes what his ambition has caused and becomes mentally unstable with guilt and begins to hallucinate and see Banquo's ghost.
Well, usually when a person sees the ghost of a dead person, it's because they have a strong emotional connection to them, and in Macbeth's case, he just killed his closest friend, Banquo, so at the end of that scene, he starts to realize how much harm he has done to others in order to advance himself, and instead of repenting, he becomes determined to keep that power that he went so far to get.
Out, damn spot, out I say. 1, 2, why then 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie, a soldier and a feared? What need we fear, who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him? Wash your hands, put on your nightgown, look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out of one's grave.
Okay, Lady Macbeth's conscience begins to get to her, and she couldn't get a full night's rest that night, and she starts hallucinating the blood of those that she was partly responsible for killing, and this shows that she has too much ambition, and that begins to lead to her downfall.